and we're you are live. So we're live here tonight on YouTube, and today is a very special day.
It's a very special day.
We're live because it's a special day, and you're glowing, and I'm glowing. Um,
I
so
just finished CrossFit.
today's our daughter's birthday. It's Brooke's birthday, so we're kind of excited about that. And
She's 28 and she's my
she's
first.
she's your first, and she's my first too.
And I was thinking, oh, it's time to lose the baby fat.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, she's 28.
Yeah. So we are very excited. So it's not only probably scoot over
I'm
this
gonna
way.
put my phone because I can't read that far away.
You can't read that far away.
No, because that's my eyes are old.
Okay, we'll turn this light off too because we look so glowing tonight.
We are glowing.
We are glowing like glow bulbs, but. Where's the button? It's right there. So
Okay.
now we're not. Well, now it's not looking so good. But
Oh my goodness!
we'll go back with the light.
Wow,
So,
that just like made me. I've changed.
now you look beautiful.
No, I've changed
So,
colors like 3 times.
Yeah, you're in that light over there. So we're gonna
Yeah, I turned white.
we're gonna get out of that and get over here.
Get over here.
There you go. Now you're looking.
Oh, now I'm looking right at that light.
Yeah. So
Like Bird's light. Come to the light.
it's our daughter's birthday. So she's
is.
28, and we're
And-
very excited about that.
And she's not here in Boise. She moved for a few years.
The good Chad is hanging out with us. Austin Burks is John Bennett is hanging out with us.
I
So,
can't even read this far away. So should I look at my phone?
Do you have your contacts on?
I do,
You
but
do,
my
so,
eyes are just getting old because I'm a
and
28-year-old.
You're glowing because you look so young for having a 28-year-old.
Well,
And
thank you.
so we got all kinds of
Sweat.
announcements. So not only is it Brooke's birthday, and we wanted to get on here and say happy birthday to Brooke, but guess what? On Brooke's birthday, we're launching the Brooke. And so
What's it called? Okay, Afton said, because there's new words that we're dropping.
we're dropping.
Dropping.
We're dropping not a bomb, but a paintbrush. So we're dropping a paintbrush, and this has been the paintbrush our own.
Oh gosh, see?
Oh, so you're gonna watch us now.
Well, so I could read, so I could engage.
So she's gonna watch us and listen to us. So I think have we been trying to get this brush
think
made
3
for
years.
3 years, and we've been telling people. We started telling people 3 years ago. Our Paint Life brush is going to come out, and it's only taken 3 years, so it's out. It's available. It's finally, and it's handmade in the USA, in New York, by Premier Brush, who we've partnered with to make our brushes, and so
This is the first.
in
Drop.
and it's drop. And so I
Drop.
named it after my daughter, so Brooke. That's why it's named Brooke. So
Well, I think the thing is painting's been a great career for you, and it's how you provided for our family. And so you have done everything for them, and you continue to do everything
Yeah.
for them. And so I think it's really cool.
so we got
I'm excited
so
about it.
John Bennett says he wants one.
So we are going to
We'll give away some tonight.
So this is
John's the first winner. He just asked for one, so I'm gonna give him one.
okay, but
Just
tell
like
them
that.
how to get it. But
So
then
John, I'm gonna give you one. So I don't actually. I have only 2 right now. They're coming. Like 360 are coming, and they'll be in our store here in a couple days. But John, all you got to do is go to our store, paintlifesupply.com. Go down on the right hand side. There's a little chat icon. Go in there, John Bennett. Say you won one of the Brooke paintbrushes, and we're gonna get your email address, and we're gonna send you a coupon to get it. So from our store. So. So Lisa touched on it. So I've been painting for over 25 years, and it's been an absolute amazing career for me. I've absolutely loved what I've done. I've been proud to be a painter, proud to call myself a painter, and and be in the trades. And it's provided for my family. It's given us just some amazing opportunities, and it's been an amazing way to provide for my kids. It's put them through college, put them through high school and college.
one more.
Yeah, one's we put 2 through college, and one's almost done. So
Yeah.
painting's been rewarding to me. It's been something that's put a smile on my face. most of the time and while I'm painting. And then financially, it's done really well for us financially. And it's just been an amazing career, amazing opportunity to provide for my family and kids. And this is one way to honor, my kids.
My
And
question is, I was gonna make it drop again. What are the sizes of? Oh no! Oh gosh! Oh gosh! Not really dropping. Somebody wanted to know what sizes is it gonna come in?
So it comes in, so the Brook, this is our all paints brush, so interior and exterior brush. It's, and we only wanted the best. So we partnered with Premier. I wanted the best brush made. I wanted the best handle, hardwood handle, and I only wanted DuPont filaments. It's Tynex and Oreo filaments. It's a blend. And it's amazing for interior painting and cut-ins. You're not going to find anything better, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. And it comes, this brush right here, the Brook, comes in 2-inch, 2.5-inch, and 3-inch angled sash. So this is what it looks like right here. And I'm telling these are handmade brushes, right? And I'm going to show you. Here's right there. It says Paint Life on it. Paint Life, the Brook, right there. So that's I'm super stoked. Maybe I'm the only one that is.
That's okay. But I think the thing is somebody asked like, what sets your brush? Because there's a lot of good brushes out there. I think one thing for us that's exciting is this is how you have provided for our family. And we have been working with Premier for a few years and have known them a few years and have been to their factory. And they are a family owned business, like ours is a family owned business, but they've been in business for over 50 years. So they have a lot of years. And so, it's a paintbrush made by a painter and co-branded with a family owned. But can you say what separates your brush from other brushes or?
Yeah, and so there's not a lot of good brushes out there, but there's a couple good brushes that are really good brush manufacturers and companies out there. And when I wanted to make my own brush and have my own brush, I wanted something that was going to be a top-notch brush, the best for me.
Is it a $150 brush?
It's not $150. I think it's like in the range, like the 2.5-inch or the 3-inch brush. I think is around $18-19. I'm not sure. It's so what makes a good paintbrush? It's handmade. So first off, it's handmade right here in the USA. So I've been to the Premier factory. I watched them making their brushes. And so that was important to me to see the brushes made, see the people making them, and see the process. I watched the entire process. I got to work with them, got to work with Premier in developing my own proprietary blend of filaments that I wanted, in a paintbrush. But it starts with a handle. I mean, the handle needs to be a hardwood handle, and it doesn't need to be, that's not just it. So it's a hardwood handle, but it's finished amazing. It's sanded and completely finished, absolutely amazing. So when you touch it, you feel it. It's awesome, but it's hardwood, so it can sit in water and withstand water for long periods of time. And,
so cheaper brushes aren't made of hardwood, right?
Not necessarily. There's a lot of different woods out there and stuff, but this is a hardwood handle. It's a beechwood handle, and it's completely finished, absolutely amazing. Nice, smooth, sanded finish. You'll see scratch marks all over it. It's not rough. It doesn't have sharp edges. The hole drilled in it is absolutely amazing. So it starts with a handle. They did an absolutely amazing job on the handle. Then next comes the ferrule. They're ferrule stainless, a ferrule that's not going to rust. The nails that go into them, a lot of cheaper brushes, when the nails puncture the holes, it causes rust. The nails, when they puncture the holes, they could bleed tannins or bleed rust inside the wood. It could discolor the wood. There's a lot of things about the ferrule itself that I talked to them, worked with them on getting a ferrule the way we wanted it, and that was not going to fail. The ferrule is polished. We got to plug in. I almost forgot our battery. We don't want our battery to go dead.
Oh,
so
no, we don't
let's
want
plug
that.
in. So the ferrule is absolutely amazing, and in the finish quality, the way the nails are nailed in, they're not all crooked, they're nailed in consistently, the band's banded well. It's absolutely amazing. The filaments on it, they're absolutely amazing. Filaments, all DuPont Tynex Oreo blend right there. So DuPont makes the best filaments in the world.
And the percentage of like some brushes could have the same filaments, but you could do different percentages of different
yeah,
brushes.
so DuPont makes a multitude of different filaments and stuff, and you blend it to get the stiffness you want. But then you also there's some filaments that clean easier than other filaments and stuff like DuPont Chinex. Cleans easier than any other filament out there in the world, but it doesn't hold paint as well. And so there's a lot of technicalities about filaments and stuff. But man, their filaments, the brush, I mean, the tip, man, it's absolutely amazing. This brush is finished well. All I gotta say is you gotta try it out, and that's the only way that you'll be able to know and understand.
Somebody asked about the lifetime warranty brush, the Lucas brush.
The Lucas brush lifetime warranty brush is absolutely amazing. So
$150 amazing.
It's $150, and I think it's not practical to use because it's only it's a 2.5-inch brush, and I like for everyday painting a 3-inch brush, so it's too small for me. And it's flat, so the filaments are flat and not angled, and I like an angle for everyday brushes angled. So it doesn't have some of the characteristics that I like, but it's an amazing gift. So something to give to somebody that's a retiring painter, or you want to give a painter, a gift. The box it comes in is absolutely amazing. So Danny Lucas hired the guy that created the box for Apple iPhones, and he hired him to design his box, and that's why it comes in the best box you'll ever see a paintbrush ever come in, and it's absolutely amazing. That's part of why that you pay so much for it. It comes with an amazing plastic cover. It comes with a cleaner. It comes with a lifetime warranty, so if the filaments ever wear out,
so
they replace it.
You could buy like 10 of these for that price.
Yeah, so I think it's a great gift. It's not something that I would use.
Practical.
Yeah, practical.
So somebody wanted to know, how many times should I be able to reuse the brush?
So
like all brushes?
So yeah, well, the problem with paints nowadays is paints ruin brushes faster than people ruin brushes nowadays. But people or painters are part of the equation. So the paint dries so fast nowadays, especially on the exteriors, that it gets down into the ferrule and stuff, coagulates, it dries, and it's really hard to get out at the end of the day. The more you clean your brush, the longer your brush is going to last. I mean, ideally, you should be cleaning it every hour to 2 hours. But then here's one of the drawbacks of cleaning it. When you're cleaning it with water, water makes your filaments softer. And so now you don't have the stiffness like when you're cutting in and stuff. And so your brush isn't as stiff, but hence why you want DuPont filaments. DuPont filaments, they don't absorb as water as fast as cheaper filaments made in other countries out there, and they hold their stiffness a lot longer, so they don't absorb as much water. So just kind of some trivia about DuPont filaments, why you want DuPont filaments in your brush, because they hold their stiffness longer. So typically what I would do is, if my brush, I'm painting it like instead of cleaning it, instead of 2 to 3 hours cleaning it, I'm going to go like 3 to 4 hours using it. If I'm outside, then I'm going to toss that one into a bucket of water and go grab another one and start painting with another one.
So you rotate some brushes.
So I rotate brushes. I usually use multiple brushes, throughout the day. So
do you recommend like cleaning it with cleaner, or is water good enough?
Water's soap and water is good enough. Pretty Boy Cleaner actually works pretty well. And one of the things I like about Pretty Boy Cleaners, even though this is a hardwood handle, and it's finished very well, so it's sanded to a very nice smooth finish. And I like that because it just feels nice and soft in my hands. And I got wimpy hands. I wear gloves because I got nice soft hands, and they do have calluses on them. You can see right there. But I like how it feels in my hand. But because it's sanded so smooth, paint doesn't absorb into or bite as well when you're getting paint on it. Because I like to, at the end of the day, actually clean my handle too. One thing I noticed about Pretty Boy is if you put Pretty Boy on the handle, it will clean the paint off, where just water won't clean the paint off. But clean your brush, throw some Pretty Boy on it, let it set on there for like 3 to 5 minutes, and then your brush will actually clean up a lot faster, a lot easier. And Pretty Boy actually conditions your filaments, and it does like soften the filaments a little bit, so when you go to use it, they're a little bit softer, but paint is less likely to absorb into the filament itself and stick to the filament. So that's like pre-wetting your brushes. Keeps the paint from sticking as much. And if you look at a filament, I'm starting to get too geeky about filaments. So
Yeah.
So it's our daughter's birthday. Happy birthday to Brooke.
Yes, she's. They moved away, so we're missing her.
So that's one of the big bombs that we dropped tonight. She's amazing, and all my girls are amazing, and Brooke is absolutely amazing. I'm so thankful for her. I remember the day she was born. We wrapped her up into a little thing, and
They said the nurse said a little burrito.
Like a little burrito, and
She was our little burrito.
I was this huge bodybuilder. It was kind of ridiculous, and I didn't know how to hold this little tiny baby, and it was kind of funny, and I was this little tiny girl. So yeah.
And
so we'll just move on.
Yeah, and the other bomb that we dropped today.
Yeah, so Brooke is pregnant.
Yes, her and Armando have been married for over 2 years now.
You're gonna be a grandma.
I get to be a grandma.
We're older than we look. We are.
We hope.
We hope.
We hope.
So yeah, we're gonna be grandparents in less than a year. So that's pretty exciting. It's her birthday and she's pregnant. So that's pretty awesome, I gotta say.
Yeah. So this is the first of a couple brushes
if you want to live long, CBD has been helping me out. So they didn't pay me to say that. We just got done working out, and I always drink Kill Cliff after I work out because it has CBD in it.
Maybe that's why I'm not improving as much as you. Maybe I need to start doing that.
Because I'm getting old and I have a lot of aches and pains. So,
yeah. But it's not working as well for me. But I just keep moving. I just keep moving. Keep moving.
Deborah Levine's being a grandparent is awesome. So yeah, I can't wait.
Oh, and a knife is going to be a grandparent at 37. Wow.
That's awesome.
That is awesome because children are blessings. But that's you're a youngin.
Do we have any questions that we can answer tonight? So we gave away one brush to.
Yes.
So we're gonna give away another brush. So in honor of my daughter's birthday, our new Paint Life brush has come out.
And you have to go and do exactly what Chris says to get the brush if he calls you as a winner. But know this. We're waiting to get the shipment, and they were shipped today. So as soon as we get the first shipment, we'll be sending off to people, and also probably on Instagram and Facebook, we'll be doing some giveaways when they actually come into the store. But if you're local, I had somebody yesterday say, "Oh, I didn't know you. I'm local and I haven't been into your store," and so it's like, well, maybe
we have a store.
We have a store, and we're having Customer Appreciation Day on the 24th.
Oh, and we're having Customer Appreciation Day, and we are giving away
a monster power washer,
pressure washer. So it's a $1,300 pressure washer we're giving away.
It's like $1,500.
$1,500.
But is it a pressure washer or a power washer?
The same thing.
Okay.
Pressure, power.
Sometimes I say one, and then I'm like, is it maybe something else?
I used to always call them a power washer, and then I would see where they're called pressure washers and stuff.
Yeah.
Now, technically, maybe somebody that just does pressure washing or power washing could let us know whether there's a difference or not, because I don't think there is. But so we're giving away a pressure washer, but the only way to win it is you actually have to come to our store in Boise. So Edward Jones is hanging out with us. So power washer is old school, and pressure washer is
new technology.
So Pro-Tol.
New school technology. So now we don't say power washer, we say pressure washer.
Embrace the power, man. So
embrace the power.
So Edward Jones, that's Pro-Tol painting. So big shout out to Pro-Tol. If you don't follow him on Instagram, go follow him on Facebook.
Marty gave me some advice. Not eating bread or sugar keeps energy up. I think I eat too much of both of those, so
Yeah.
I need to work on that.
I've cut back on my sugar.
You've done
bread.
really good. I mean, I've cut back, but I think at my age, my metabolism is going the other direction.
You look amazing, and you're like pretty spunky. And today,
No.
like did some really good dances and stuff. I mean, if you want to see like
No, you don't want to see.
you want to see the person that
No.
I get to live with every day, how awesome she is.
No.
I mean,
It's
go to
okay,
Instagram,
so
to our
just
story,
know-
and check out our stories.
Just know, like, when you don't see your daughter, and usually you see her for all of her birthdays, and so you're singing happy birthday to her, and then all of a sudden you turn your shoulder and you see somebody is videoing you singing happy birthday to your daughter.
Yeah.
It's not wasn't supposed to be a private.
Really?
It wasn't supposed to be a public moment. It was a private moment. I was trying to
It
cheer
was
her up.
it was private, but now it's public.
Yeah.
So, we like to share, what we do besides paint.
Yeah.
And be serious. So
Michael Norris.
We got to tell them go to our store paintlifesupply.com if you win one of the brushes, and down in the right hand corner is the chat button. And if you win, you just go down the chat, say, hey, I won one of the brushes, and we'll get your email address from you and get you the coupon code to get one. So
let's give that one to Michael Norris.
So Michael Norris, you're going to be a winner.
So can I read what he said?
Read what he said.
I started my painting business 5 years ago after watching almost every single one of your videos. Appreciate everything. My business is going amazing. My wife and I paint together. We love it. So
Awesome.
thank you for sharing, and we're really happy
Thank you for the
guys.
story. So
I wish
appreciate
I
it.
could. I mean, I work with my husband, but I just am not gifted enough to paint, and so I help
do you
him in
mean?
other ways.
You're a good painter.
I respect. I totally respect. the
So
trade.
we also if you win the brush, there's 3 sizes: a 2-inch, 2.5-inch, or 3-inch, and you'll get to select what size you want. So I suggest the 3-inch. It's the most popular brush for me. So our retail stores in Boise, Idaho. If you want to come enter to win the pressure washer for Customer Appreciation Day, we're going to be giving away a bunch of stuff, at our store on that day.
I just every time we it. I don't know. I think life's been a journey, and our business has been a journey. But when we used to do YouTube lives, it was like a family. So you see Ron. I just saw
Ron who?
Ron Thrall.
Ron Thrall's hanging
I
out
just
with us
saw
today.
Brian Wagner. I just and it's just you're like, oh, I miss this. Because we just have gone through a lot of changes and have been busy, and so thank you for being with us, everybody who used to be with us and is with us right now.
So Ron Thrall is on right now, and so
Josh Hagen's with us.
He's Painter Ron on Instagram. Pro Tall's with us. They're actually 2 of our moderators on Paint Life members. So if you didn't know, we run and operate the group Paint Life members on Facebook. If you want to be part of
Josh
that,
Hagen's with us.
Josh Hagen hey, what's
And
up, Josh?
He said it's only a 23-hour drive to Boise.
Oh yeah,
that's
to try to win a pressure washer.
Yeah,
so
that's a long drive.
Maybe not worth it.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so with the gas prices.
Yeah.
Oh, kind of crazy.
So holy cow.
So for you, people have asked how do you compare it, because you've really liked the montage, and people are how do you compare it? Do you compare it? I mean, that's the thing. It's all these different brushes, they're similar.
We definitely don't want to get this mixed up with the montage, because montage is paint.
Oh, yes, you're right.
Montauk is
a couple of people asked how do you, because you've really liked that brush, and so
so I mean the Montauk is is always, not always, but when they came out with it, that was when I started testing it out and using it, went and saw it made and everything. That was my favorite brush for doing interior painting, for interior cut-ins. So I use the Montauk 3-inch for all my interiors. I have the right filament blend. It's got the same filaments, DuPont and Tynex filament blend. And if you use this and use the Montauk, you're gonna see a whole lot of similarities to those 2 brushes. So it comes out of the factory. It's got the same DuPont, Tynex, Oriole filaments in it and stuff. So you're gonna love it. If you love the Montauk, you're gonna love it.
Yeah.
So.
But I mean, because with this brush, you talked to all the different main manufacturers of brushes, and there's certain brushes from each manufacturer that you really like. But this
Yeah.
was the best fit for us. And
Yeah, because I mean, we talked to some other of the big players about making our brush, and had some meetings with some of them. And there's two of them, two other brush companies that I'm a big fan of. So there's three that I've talked about, repeatedly, that I'm a big fan of, and I guess I won't hide that. Corona, Wooster, and
Yeah.
Premier are three manufacturers of paintbrushes
Make good
that I believe they're the leaders. Those are the three leaders in manufacturing paintbrushes, and that's only my opinion. Everybody has their own opinions and stuff, and then we ended up flying out and seeing Premiere, and it got the whole tour, and I really got to see the back end of how these brushes were made. That made me a big believer in them, to actually see firsthand them being handmade. And so and then the owner of Premier, we got to know him really well. He became a friend, and Kevin Lecter is an absolutely amazing guy. And I think I've talked about it before. We don't just buy products; we like to buy people, and the people that make the products.
that's why our house is filled with people.
Yeah. So,
No, it's the whole thing of people by people, and it is. Business is based on relationships, and that's how running our painting business, when you get a client, it's a relationship. It's got to be mutual. They have to trust you. They're going to trust you that you're going to do a good job. You're going to trust them that they're going to pay their bill. And so, that's for the partnerships and, the products that we sell in our store. It's products that you have out in your van out there. But I just think, this is just exciting because you're a painter, and you worked with a paintbrush manufacturer, and we're doing it to honor our kiddos. So are there going to be other brushes coming out after the Brook?
So there is. We've already we've worked with Premier.
I was going to say, I guess it's fine, the names.
Yeah, so after my son-in-law, Armando, who's married to Brooke, the Armando is coming out. The McKenna is coming out, and we're working with the Afton is one of those ones that's not easy to copyright and trademark, because Afton's name is used like in different things all over the world, but that's in the making. So our three kids, but now what I just thought about, we have a grandkid we're gonna have to name a brush out.
Oh my goodness.
Now,
and then if our other two girls get married, so I don't know.
Oh my gosh, are we gonna have a Luke and like the Skywalker?
But the ring has to be on before they get a brush.
I mean, we're like Luke Skywalker. We're like light years away from that probably. So yeah, I mean, he's gonna have to like fight Darth Vader. And,
we have. So, anyways, but it is super exciting. And the other brushes, you're gonna do different filaments, obviously, or for different. Like,
we can do. I just thought of like Luke Skywalker, and we got Noah Constrictor. And if Luke wants to marry my daughter, we can have him fight Noah, and if he wins Noah,
we are really going.
That can actually. We can see like Noah like choking him out, the constrictor, and
we're
then
talking about
Luke will whip out his lightsaber.
We do know.
Have we gone downhill?
Yeah, we've gone downhill. Our girls are dating boys that we do see every day, and they're nice guys. But anyways, right now we have
nice guys don't always finish first or finish last. How does that go?
You guys please. I hope you guys are not watching this, children and children's significant others. So we wanted to come on and let you know that this is what's going on with us, and we're super excited, and I guess really excited to see.
Can we turn this like into some educational answers to the questions? And people are just got to think this is just a big advertisement, and
it's kind of us just sharing where we're at and what we're working on.
Well, I wanted to do it to say happy birthday to my daughter, to the world, because she's special to me. So.
And me too.
And you too. So
Me
she's
too.
special to both of us. So
Yes. And to anybody who meets her, she's a nurse and she's actually in nurse practitioner school right now. So the
and her
patients,
husband's gonna be a doctor. He's going to med school.
that's why they moved away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you sad?
Yeah, they'll be back though. They'll be back in a couple of years. So anyways,
You-
every person that they touch, they're gonna they bless. So
Yeah.
that's that.
You guys are a great like to watch. I missed it. I was trying to read it, but
That's why I have my phone.
so we just got done working out, and I worked out with Luke Skywalker,
Okay.
and he kicked my butt again.
Okay, so Elvis Presley said the best in Australia are the Monarch brushes, and I think you tried one of
I
those.
tested them out. I
and-
tested a bunch of them out.
But I think with everything.
Did he say he said the best in Australia?
Yeah,
I don't
but-
think he said the best in the world.
But I think with every brush company, you have different grades of brushes
You
too.
do.
Like, because you got some that were not so good, but they probably have better.
Yeah, I was sent a bunch of Monarch brushes, and it's just me. I wasn't a fan of them, so. But that's just me.
So this guy said, just curious if you had only one brand of paint, what are you using? I personally am a Benjamin Moore fan. Say hi to my buddies in Idaho. Michigan's a little too far away from them.
So if I only had one brand of paint to choose from right now, I've been testing a bunch of Benjamin Moore out lately, and I actually really like Benjamin Moore paint.
I think it'd be better to break it out because, like, you've been really testing out a new cabinet product, and
So yeah, for now cabinet paints. So Centurion Coatings makes cabinet paints, and cabinet paints are a whole nother category. And so they make a 2K poly, a 1K, 2K poly.
2K.
That's absolutely amazing. And so,
2K.
so interior, like I've been testing out some interior bathroom paint, some interior wall paint, some exterior paint like Benjamin Moore's or Aura, some.
You just painted one bathroom and
I just
you
painted.
used.
I used Benjamin Moore Regal.
But you're going to use another product.
Yeah.
You haven't done it yet.
But
What's a PG?
what was that? Oh, PPG. So PPG has a product that I'm
You haven't
testing
used
out,
it yet.
and actually I do like PPG's products for now when it comes to cabinet coatings. Now we're talking about a whole nother category, wood finishes, and so Centurion Coatings is wood finishes, and so decks, fences, bare wood or repaint cabinet finishes. I started using their coatings, and I just did a vanity and stuff. 2K poly. It's the best 2K poly I've ever used.
Okay.
And so if you haven't checked them out, CenturionWoodCoatings.com, I believe is their website.
They're in Texas.
So yeah, and they're
100% made in the USA.
USA. So they manufacture
shortage.
their own paints.
No
Right now
shortage.
they don't have any shortage because
No
they
shortage.
have all they grind all their pigments and make all their products in house right in Texas. We even got the tour of the warehouse.
But you did some real tests.
Some real life tests.
And so look, pretty soon some videos will come out. But
Mm-hmm.
this is a little teaser. Whitest whites. Like
who has the whitest white?
we
out
actually
there?
did some. They
Tests.
did some drawdowns with the. Are they? Is it Chemet? What's the paint maker called?
He's the paint chemist. So
Paint chemist. So
Yep.
did actual drawdown.
Yeah.
And compared whites. And so, anyways, but Josh Hagan just said that he just picked up some 1107. Is that Centurion?
So Centurion Coatings. So when we're talking wood coatings. Their 1107 is a primer, and I use it to fill oak grain. Absolutely amazing.
It's kind of surprised you
I was very surprised,
because
very
you're an
blown away.
aqua coat man.
I would say I believe pretty heavily in aqua coat. Their 1107 didn't fill it 100%, but it would eliminate several coats of aqua coat. It's you would probably 2 coats of 1107, 1 coat of aqua coat, and you would have 100% fill. Absolutely amazing.
You did one cabinet with aqua coats, and you had to do like 5 or 6 coats.
With aqua coat, yeah.
It was
And
a lot. More
so
labor intensive.
the 1107 is a 2K primer. It's an amazing primer. And then their 2800 series is the bomb when it comes to cabinet finishes. It's a 1K or 2K poly, and it's water based. You'll absolutely be blown away if you give it a try. I guarantee you. So you got to check
Josh
it out.
said, "Do you try grain filling spraying vertically?"
So I did, and so I did. I did the grain filling with the 1107 vertical, and I was amazed. I was absolutely. I took. I went and bought a cabinet, multiple cabinet doors from a secondhand store that were. They were
Bad
below a
graining.
vanity that was a lot of water damage, extremely deep open grain checking, and I sprayed 2 heavy coats hanging, 1107, sanded it down, and I was blown away. It was. It wasn't. I could if I would have sprayed multiple coats on there, maybe it would have filled it. But I think 2 coats, 1 coat of aqua coat to spot fill the rest of the stuff, and I would have had an awesome finish.
But
So
I think, the more testing you do, but so far you've liked that product.
I'd like to. It's the coverage is amazing. So the coverage, the feel, the dry time fast, stack time extremely fast, cure time 8 hours. You can sand it in 45 minutes. It's incredible. The one thing I learned right off the bat is I used to spray cabinets with a 310 fine finish tip. I was having a problem with it sagging and stuff, and this is part of the learning curve. Right away, I switched over to a Tritech. I was using a Titan 310 tip, switched over to a Tritech 208, and that was the right tip for spraying Centurion coatings. So Centurion coatings, their poly 2K poly is also designed to spray with an airless sprayer. So the convenience and ease spraying with an airless sprayer is amazing. Now you don't have to, and that's no cutting with water. Didn't have to thin it. It was straight out of the can because you're using it in airless.
So Jay says, oh, wait a second. I was going to call in.
Oh,
Quick question. Just getting into cabinet painting. Should I get a dry rack that hangs the doors or a dry rack that you stack the doors?
well, there's no question to me. Hanging is the only way to
There's
go.
a learning curve, though. Some people are
There's
just
a
more-
learning curve, but you can learn pretty fast, and it's gonna significantly cut down your time painting cabinets. I mean, when it really comes down to it, I think. I mean, I'll just speak from me and
Yeah.
not everybody else. I was in the business to make my customers happy, but I was also in the business to make money, and time is money. And by hanging it, you're not waiting for flip times and stack times, and so you're spraying both sides in all 4 edges in one shot, letting it hang, sanding it, bringing it back, spraying it again, all 4 edges, both sides, one shot, and done. And that's going to cut your time down, your painting time, in literally by a day, a full day. And what's a full day worth to you? In my business, a full day, I can go do an exterior in a full day. That's $5,000, $5,000.
Well, but and a full day that could be your profit.
Yeah. And so we went from hanging. We used to spray flat. We went from doing cabinets in 5 days to 2.5 days hanging. That was our what it meant to us. And anybody, the coatings nowadays, like Centurion coatings, is I'll give you a tip. This is a secret right here. This is a pro tip.
Pro tip.
If you have a problem with your coatings not hanging very well, or you're spraying them on too light and they're not covering very well, Centurion Coatings sells a thickener. And a thickener is amazing because now you add a thickener to your product, and your mill thickness will come out heavier and your paint will hang better. And this is a pretty cool little secret tip. In a thickener of about a half a gallon, I was adding about a tablespoon of thickener to a half a gallon, and it's amazing the difference it makes. So when you buy your product from Centurion Coatings, you'll buy their 2800 series. It's a 1K or 2K poly. So I'm actually comfortable spraying it 1K because, and hopefully everybody knows what I'm talking about. Poly is polyurethane. 1K is just straight out of the can. 2K is adding a catalyst, a hardener to it, to make it bond better, to make it dry harder and dry faster, and it is more chemical resistant. But what was I talking about?
You're talking about polys 1K and 2K.
What the heck was I talking
that
about?
you would prefer. You're confident using it just a 1K.
I was talking about thickeners, and so.
But you're saying that you don't even need to do 2K because this product is superior to everything else on the market.
Yeah, so the 1K out of the can
Yes.
is 10 times better than anything you'll buy off the counter, over the counter at your local paint store, the Sherwin-Williams, the Benjamin Moore's, better than Cabinet Coat, better than Pro Classic, better than Solo, better than
just 1K.
Advanced, but just 1K. And so, but adding a catalyst to it is going to set you above everything else. It's going to bond to anything. It's not going to chip. It's going to dry super hard. It's going to resist any chemicals. You're going to have the best finish that you can have, but you do run the risk of ruining your pump if you don't clean it out in time. Just pay attention to
Big deal. Pay
yeah,
attention
so-
to your watch and have a watch.
Yeah, have a timer
So
available.
Jay Simpson said he's been painting 6 years now and bought his first Purdy brush. Purdy. Sounds kind of funny.
I'm not a Purdy fan. So.
Okay, last year, and I was blown away how much difference a good brush can make. Is there a better brush out there? New viewer. So I'm sure Purdy, like their top end brushes, they have some good brushes.
They're not in the top three, but so Purdy used to make, hands down, probably one of the best brushes out there, in the United States. And they were handmade brushes and stuff. They were eventually bought by one of the largest painting companies in the world, where margins are everything, and the quality, and this is just my personal opinion. This quality significantly dropped. My perception using them, I can see a difference, night and day. And then I did a survey, and 99% of the people in my survey, which was thousands of painters, said the exact same thing, that they noticed a significant drop in quality since this large paint company bought them and took them over.
The question is there's a big difference between a good paintbrush.
There's a huge difference between paintbrushes. So I mean,
buy a more expensive brush, buy a better brush, because
I'll be honest, probably the first 12 years of my career, I use Sherwin-Williams contractor paintbrushes for everything, for painting trim, for everything. I was like, there's no difference. They're all the same. And a brush is a brush. And you eventually, then when you grab a paintbrush, you're going, oh my gosh. I mean, cutting in this line.
But didn't this community kind of help you with that? Like, people kept asking you, have you tried a Corona? Have you tried a...
You're exactly right. I mean, people were saying...
Because of you guys.
Yeah, they were saying, have you tried a Worcester? Have you tried a Corona? Have you tried this? And I'm like, no, I haven't, because what I'm using is just fine. I mean, there's no difference. And also then I went out and started buying them. I went to my local paint stores and bought all the different brushes, and I'm like, oh my gosh, these are the bomb. I mean, there were some that were better for painting trim. There were some that were better for cutting in a line. There were some that cleaned up better exteriors. If you're painting exteriors with today's paints, the only brush you should be using is a 100% Chinex filament brush. And if you haven't been, you will thank me. I mean, the paint just comes right off of them, cleans off of them. You don't ruin half as many brushes, and they're awesome brushes. They keep their stiffness. What's interesting, like brushes, like 100% Chinex, if you're try to cut in a ceiling line, it doesn't hold as much paint and release the paint as well. So you're going to have more touch-ups, more roping because it's stiffer and stuff like that. And so that's where, differences in brushes and qualities and stuff, it really makes a difference.
Yeah.
And there's nothing like a cheap brush that will drive you nuts, because you're doing, say, a trim, and all of a sudden it leaves a filament right in the trim, and you're trying to pick that filament.
But how about like holding paint and dripping and...
Drip, because they don't hold the paint as well. Cheaper filaments. What's really interesting, if you look at filaments and under a microscope, they're some of them are like jagged and
like fishing hooks,
like fish hooks, and that's what causes them to hold paint and hold a lot of paint, and then they'll release the paint when you start to brush with them. But that fish hook look, that's what makes them hard to clean. If you look at a Chinex filament under a microscope, it's like really smooth, and so the paint just comes right off. So it's just some really technical things about filaments and stuff.
So you've come a long ways from buying the cheapest brushes and just thinking there's no difference to where you
From being a hack and just using.
No, it's not a hack. I mean, you were a good painter, but you didn't realize that it could be better.
Some people thought I was a hack.
Well, but
Whatever.
I'm just saying you've learned, and that's what this
I've
platform,
learned a lot. I learned.
That's what this platform's about.
I learned. It's crazy because I'm an old guy. And,
Yeah, you are.
and I still learn every day from our platform, from reading people's questions and comments and stuff. I learn something new every single day.
That's a good thing.
So
Don't
I
ever
learned.
get-
I learned from a high school kid, how to pull two buckets
I remember
apart.
that.
It was the craziest thing. For like 10 years, I was struggling pulling buckets apart. And he walked up to me and he's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, and I thought, "What are you doing? What are you doing talking to me?" And he's like, "It's simple to pull the bucket apart. All you do is just grab it and pull it and do it like this." I'm like, "What the heck?" And I'm like, why didn't I think of that like 10 years ago? And it was just this kid in high school that just had some like engineering mind or something and was like,
Yeah.
this old guy is really dumb trying to pull these buckets apart.
Well,
He doesn't understand the suction it creates by really pulling really hard and everything. And
I think, and hopefully if you're not a member of Paint Life members on Facebook, I mean, that's the whole intent, is we want a safe place where people can come ask questions, and no question is a dumb question. Everybody learned somewhere. Everybody had their aha moment on something. And so we just want to encourage you, ask to join. We have awesome moderators that are here with us tonight.
we gotta
And-
take a break for our sponsors.
For our
And give away
sponsors,
our
our
paintbrush.
drop. Our
So,
drop.
Our drop.
Oh my gosh.
So our new paintbrush is out. The Premiere
And
is out.
I
And,
guess we're doing durability testing. I guess that's what we're
so
doing.
our new paintbrush, the Brook is out because it's my daughter's birthday today, and the Brook
Happy
is
birthday.
our first line of brushes made by
'Cause she's our firstborn.
Because she's our firstborn. She's 28 years old today, and she's our amazing, lovely daughter, and she brings a smile to like everybody's face, man, that she comes in contact
Yeah.
with. And we don't
She's
get to
been a
be with
blessing.
her on her birthday because she
No.
lives too far away.
Yeah, that's true. That's all
So,
true. So I'm gonna ask one more question, and then we're gonna give away something. This guy says,
I'll try to keep it
when
short.
priming and painting raw wood doors, what should I have my PSI on? I have a Tritech 4T4.
So Tritech T4 is an awesome sprayer, for one thing. It's a great sprayer to spray Centurion coatings with. So if you're spraying a raw wood door, I mean, if you want your door to be absolutely amazing, you can spray it with the 1107 primer.
But he's asking what PSI.
And so I would use 1107. I was going to get there.
Okay.
See, the 1107 primer, and I was spraying it at around 1800 psi, and I was 1800 psi with a 208 tip. So a lot of it is going to depend on tip size and product, whether you're thinning it. So every product is like acts differently, and some of it's some trial and error. The 1107 and the 2800 series, I was running them both. I used a Tritech and a Titan 440, and I was running them both around 1800 psi with a 208 tip, and I felt like that was giving me the least amount of overspray fallout, giving me a nice coat, a finish, it was coming out the right mill thickness and everything. The one thing great about the 1107, and then you can sand it, spray one coat on there, sand it like within 30 to 45 minutes, and then put two top coats on, and blam, you're done. Like
Blam.
I'd say, blam, done. Handle it pretty fast, hang it back up.
So Andrew says, I'm in the market for a paint booth for a garage. What do you think?
So, and then getting back to that, just to answer this question, I mean, if you're not using Centurion coatings, like if I was spraying some of the over-counter products and stuff, I was typically spraying like Emerald Urethane is actually a really good product, but you don't want to spray it on bare wood. You want to prime it first. But I was around 2200 psi. So because it's thicker, quite a bit thicker than your 1K, 2K poly. So
Okay.
now off to the next question was.
So he's saying, I'm in the market for a paint booth for the garage. What do you think?
The paint line mobile spray booth is the bomb. It's
So if you want a mobile, that
probably not good to say bomb word anymore, but
okay, it's good.
it's good. It's good. It's
But I
so
mean, they have different, because we've been to paint shows and they have all kinds of different booths. So I guess depends on what your budget is and if it's a permanent
well, if you have
structure.
$100,000, there's some amazing spray booths out there from Reeves and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But the Paint Line mobile spray booth is around $750. It literally packs up into one canvas bag that you can carry and throw in the back of your back. And you see it a lot in my videos because I absolutely love the thing. You can set it right up in a garage. You can set it up inside the house, and it's a five-sided mobile spray booth that actually has a ventilation system that you can purchase that from Paint Line that attaches to that. You can we sell it in our store, paintlifesupply.com. Absolutely amazing.
And I can say,
Okay, you
he
say.
has painted stuff in our garage without the spray booth, and
What a
he
mess.
has painted things in our garage with the spray booth. So it contains all the dust, and it
Yeah.
doesn't go over everything in the garage. And so the cleaning probably
Yeah,
took us
last
a couple
time-
years.
Literally a couple of years. Like I had like 50 pairs of shoes. I'm a shoe hoarder, and I like 50 pairs of shoes I had to freaking clean from all the dust from when not using the mobile spray booth. And the last 3 times I used it, no dust, and I just faced the mobile spray booth, outside the garage. I've used it in the wintertime where the ventilation system will run and it'll go under the garage, and because I do a lot of work at home. I'm doing some cabinets they're off site, so I come back and do them. I don't have a big shop. I have shops here, but I use my garage because it's easy access to my house, and I'm kind of getting old and walking,
Lazy.
as I'm old and lazy.
So
Did you call me lazy?
no, definitely not.
Really?
So
What, you
William
laughing
says you have to. Do you have to catalyze the filler? The
You do.
1107?
1107 is a 2K primer.
Okay.
So you catalyze it. It has a pot life of 2 hours. So get your primer sprayed on and get yourself cleaned up.
So
Not yourself. but
Josh
your
Higgins
equipment.
said the first time he used 1107, it was the old formula.
1 hour pot life.
Yeah, he said in 10 minutes it was turning on him, and he knew what to do so it didn't
Yeah.
destroy his pump. So
They reformulated it now. So yeah, there's
It's
a
4
bunch of
hours now?
things. I thought maybe it's 2. I thought maybe it's 4 hours. I thought
It's
it was
4 hours.
4 hours. So yeah, it's obviously pot life. So you got to just monitor your product. I mean, you stir it every now and then to see if it's kicking, and if it's all of a sudden starting to turn into jello, you need to start running some water or acetone through your sprayer to clean it out. And it doesn't actually turn 100% hard, but it gets really thick.
you have
and,
to know what you're doing and pay attention.
yeah,
to
so
time.
just pay attention. The old stuff was a little bit too fast, but there's certain things that'll turn that 4 hour into 3 hour, which you really need to know. If you're outside and you're spraying in a garage or something in a facility and it's 95 degrees, heat decreases the time. If you're running it, here's another thing. If you're running it through a diaphragm pump, like with a hopper on top, the diaphragm pump is going to create heat because it actually runs all the time. That heat is going to decrease your time.
And
probably
isn't that
by
for the
25%.
HVLP also?
HVLPs are going to decrease your time because of the heat that they're creating. So you probably should look at about decreasing your time by to when you clean by about maybe 15%. Like if you're using an HVLP. So you just got to understand some of those things. But it's just like, once again, don't panic. Like we were just using it not too long ago. And I was looking at the watch. I'm like, oh my gosh, it said I was using top coat, and we're like, oh, it's 5 hours. And we walked outside, and we're like, oh my gosh, it like kicked really fast. And we just checked it like 15 minutes before, and it was totally fine. And we're like, now this stuff is like gel. And we just hurried up, grabbed some warm water, boom, just started pumping it through, and it was just like coming out really slow and stuff. And but,
So you gotta know what you're doing, but
Yeah.
I can tell you as a customer, I got one set of cabinets done, a bathroom, and if you could feel it, it is buttery, like it's amazing.
Yeah.
Because before you did lacquer, and it's amazing. So it's
Yeah.
worth, but there is a learning curve, and you got to pay attention.
And Centurion Coatings, once again, it's a U.S. company, so in Texas, and Tom Miller, the owner, was a painter. So It's for painters by painters, man. It's like us supporting a guy who was out there in the trenches starting.
And he still has a company that stains
Does fences. He graduated from college, staining fences, and now he is graduated all the way up to making his own
products.
stains and wood finish coatings.
Gianni says, any tips for solo painters with regards to Halloween? Haloing.
I mean, we can hallow all we want. I mean, Halloween is that what like the wolves do? Howl?
No.
Halloween?
Any tips for a solo painter?
Work one wall at a time. So
one wall at a time?
Yeah, I work, if you've got a little bit of experience working solo, you work 2 walls at a time, but you want to do your cut-ins and then you want to roll after your cut-ins, because if you roll your walls after your cut-ins, because if you roll your walls and then do your cut-ins over it, you're going to be leaving a 4-inch swath around. And then also to help eliminate cut-ins, back roll your brush strokes, because you're going to be rolling the field and you want it to match. And so you want stippling versus brush strokes. That's going to help eliminate it. What I noticed is quality of paint also. And there's some paints, and I won't name any names, just that one of them has the numbers 200 in it, starts with a P, that I swear I wanted to like murder the cans of paint, because
a lot of people use it and like it.
it was the worst paint ever for you. No matter what, it would halo really bad. And then I went out and got a different brand of paint in the same color, and it didn't. So sometimes paint is going to make you want to pull your hair out, and so you really got to find.
He already did it. That's why he doesn't use it anymore. He lost all his hair.
I won't say the name of the paint that starts with a P and ends with a 200. And the customer was screaming and yelling at me too, because she thought I didn't know how to paint. So then the paint made me look really bad. So that left a really nasty taste in my mouth.
I think you don't buy cheap brushes, don't buy cheap paint, and you're gonna have hair.
So they've since reformulated the paint.
Maybe it's good.
Maybe for the worst. They reformulate their paints like 4 or 5 times a year, so you never know what you're buying their Eminence. Now I'm like giving up who the paint company is, but Eminence used to be the best ceiling paint that I've ever used.
You've used some good PPG
and now it's one of the worst. They reformulated. A lot of the reformulations are due to EPA regulations.
Yeah.
PPG makes an amazing ceiling paint. Glidden makes a ceiling paint that is really cheap, and it was only designed to roll, but I like to always do things and break the rules, and I sprayed it, and it was the bomb spraying.
Yeah.
I did have a mouthful of paint and eyes balls full of paint afterwards. A lot of fallout because it wasn't designed to spray, but no lap marks. The finish on the ceiling was a dead flat finish. It looked awesome from
okay. Cotton Candy 76 says, I have a question for you. I got a good spray pattern on my sprayer, but it threw so much paint on the walls, it was dripping. Anything lower, and it was fingering badly.
Some of that's going to be quality of paint, type of paint. I'm not sure what, some paints were really designed to spray and hang well. And there's a product from Sherwin-Williams. Here's one I'll really give a shout out to. They had a product, and it was a regional product called Treasure Valley Eggshell. The best interior paint you could ever use for spraying. I mean, you literally could take
you could do no wrong.
You could do no wrong. You load that stuff on with a 1221. You could not make it run. I mean, you couldn't talk it into running. You couldn't scream at it. You couldn't. It would hang amazing. And some paints hang amazing. But now, if you took and you tried to spray cashmere, you're gonna have runs all over the place. Cashmere is the bomb when it comes to rolling, but you're gonna have a nightmare.
So the technical data sheets, do they have in there, like, if they're, what are you doing? I thought you were gonna
making faces.
Okay. If
I'm a face maker.
The technical data sheets, do they tell you if it's made to brush or roll or spray?
In the technical data sheet, it'll give you it'll say in there
How to apply.
how to apply. And if it doesn't say to spray it and give you tip sizes, then it wasn't designed to spray. So some products over outside the U.S., a lot of products aren't made to run through airless sprayers because airless sprayers aren't very popular outside the U.S. In a lot of countries, especially Europe. They're rapidly growing in popularity.
She's using Bear Marquee.
Bear Marquee is one that not a good idea to run through a sprayer.
That's what she was using.
Yeah, that's.
Is that formulated for brushing and rolling?
So I'm going to just talk about my opinion when it comes to Bear products. So I've tested out Bear products a bunch of times, and I actually worked in Home Depot and sold Bear products for 2 years, and so I have a lot of information about Bear products. And Bear products are sold in Home Depot. And who goes into Home Depot? Professional painters don't go buy paint from Home Depot.
Some might. They've been working to try and get them, but you're right.
I worked in Home Depot
I know, but that was
2 years, and
that was like over
in
20
2 years there was 2 painters that came in.
That was a long time
two
ago.
professional painters that came into Home Depot
That was
to
a
buy
long time
paint.
ago.
So
It may have changed.
I don't know what that percentage comes out to be,
Okay.
but okay. So in my
Just saying.
opinion, because
Yes.
and we'll just say that I didn't work there.
Okay.
Because I used it. In my opinion, Bear paint was designed to brush and roll
that
for
makes
do-it-yourselfers because do-it-yourselfers don't spray paint. They
Yeah.
brush and roll paint. So they're really designed to be applied with brushes and rollers. And there's a big difference how paints are designed and what the end user
How
is
they
for.
animize or
And
something
so
like that.
atomization and stuff like that. Bear paints cover very well, but they don't what we call hang very well in any circumstance. So we've tried spraying them inside and outside, and from a professional painter, and I know like how to make all kinds of adjustments using different products, because I've used a lot of different products over the years. Man, it was frustrating. And all the guys that worked for me had the opportunity to use it, and they were all very frustrated. And so from a professional
Cotton
painter,
Candy said she sprayed it over ProMark 200.
that's a good, I mean, it's a good thing probably to cover, the one paint, but maybe not with Bear. I mean, the Bear, like, I gotta say, their paint does cover very well, and they have nice logos and wrapping, but I'm just digging myself down this rabbit hole about Bear paints. So I don't like. There's some people out there that
Edward Jones says Bear paint runs like me after some Taco Bell.
I'm gonna tell. This might get me in trouble, but Bear paint is always on the top of Consumer Reports, and why do you think it's always at the top of the list?
Why aren't we? Never be.
Man, it comes down to how
Write
much
a
money
check.
you pay, man. If you pay a lot of money, you're
Pay
gonna
to-
be at the
it's
top
called-
of the
it's
list,
called
man.
Pay to play.
Pay to play.
Pay to
It's
play.
like, and why do you see that some paint companies never make that list? Is because they refuse to pay the money to be on the
They
list.
don't want to pay to play.
No, they want their products to speak for themselves, man. And so this is all my opinion.
Yeah.
Once again, so
Disclaimer, your opinion.
my opinion doesn't really matter. So I'm just one person out there. So
Yeah.
Home Depot sells. I mean, they sell PPG paints. Are great paints. I mean, across the board.
Yes, that was surprising.
Timeless is an amazing paint, and you can get that at Home Depot. And I think those were more geared towards being applied by professional painters. That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
Which doesn't matter.
It does matter. So let's give away one more.
We're gonna give away another brush. So we've been on this show for quite a while.
We have.
So paint like the Brook paintbrush. It's finally come out after 3 years. The Brook paintbrush is my daughter's name in her honor. It's her birthday, and so we were releasing it and announcing it on her birthday. So happy birthday, Brooke.
And Edward F. Jones has been very fun to read his little. Well, he's been helping, but
Edward Jones is Pro Tall Painting.
Yes.
Go follow him on Instagram.
So
Pro Tall
Edward
is,
Jones, you're gonna get a Brook brush.
So they're the Edward Jones. They're the I wouldn't say the creator, but they're the originator of the traveling trousers because no job is too tall. Is that the same?
I
Yeah.
think so.
No job is too small. No, because these guys are really tall. So, I mean, how nice is it to be able to do cut-ins and not have to get on a ladder? So you got the opposite. You got these guys that can cut in on a ladder, and then you got me that needs a 12-foot ladder to paint an 8-foot ceiling.
Now you do the math.
You do the math. It's like that's one of the funny things is every time I go out and do some show or something, there's never been a time when somebody hasn't walked up to me and said, "Oh my gosh, you're so small."
No, they haven't said that.
That every time there's always been at least 1 to 2 to 3 people that say, "Oh my gosh, you're so small" or "You're so little," and you know how so just that makes me not because I have no problem with my height, but I've always been comfortable with how tall I am because I'm actually pretty short. I mean, I'm shorter than my wife, so and but I am taller than my 2 of my daughters.
Yeah, that's
and
good.
then but it makes me a little self-conscious because I work out all the time and I'm like, and really I'm doing all this working out and people think I'm just this little guy.
Yeah,
but,
that's okay.
That's okay. I'm getting old anyway.
Yeah.
So
Chevron says, "Good night, Chris and Lisa. What paint tool can you recommend for a T111 plyboard? Grooves quick as fast, please."
So if you're doing like T111 siding, one thing I would highly recommend is getting an airless sprayer and then putting on a interfeed roller and do an interfeed roller. And you could have an interfeed roller, one guy spraying with one sprayer and another guy back rolling with an interfeed, or you can just have one guy using an interfeed roller. And that's where, man, I think, man, so fast. Or here's the other thing, is you can have one guy just spraying with like a larger tip, like a Titan HEA 619, and another guy going behind him with a 3/4 inch polyester roller, which is real durable, and back rolling. So you got to back roll in it in that groove. You need a heavy enough roller, a nap. So like a 3/8 or 1/2 inch isn't going to get down in the grooves. Use a 3/4 or 1 inch. And one guy's got to just really load on the paint, really heavy. And the other guy has to be right behind them because the paint's going to dry, absorb it. It's going to coagulate really fast. You got to be really right behind them. And the guy rolling has to communicate and saying, more paint or less paint, because if you're starting to get too much splatter because you got too much and it's just getting saturated and paint's going everywhere, you say, less paint. If it's too dry and and it's not, the roller's not wet enough and you're not like really getting it pushed in, so there's good communication going on. If you're doing it by yourself, interfeed roller, you're just squeezing the trigger and it's releasing the product, on its own. The problem with an interfeed roller is you're limited to the roller size. They don't make a inch roller and an interfeed roller. I think they make a 3/4, but the interfeed roller is an awesome option. Trying to like dip and roll, oh my gosh.
So this guy's a jet roller spray and back together.
So jet roller is so. Here's the thing, like an interfeed roller, the paint comes up and it goes inside the roller and it comes out as you need it, and it doesn't create any overspray.
No dust.
So I've tested the jet roller, which sprays the paint onto the roller, which is another option. And outdoors, it's not a bad option. I would never use a jet roller inside because you're just creating as much overspray and dust in the air that you're breathing, and that's falling out as silica dust. And silica dust it's probably not the best to breathe. Even with a mask, you're going to get some on. But anyways, that's another story. But outside, you're not worried about overspray and all that. You're still going to get a lot of overspray fallout and stuff like that. And I wouldn't prefer. I would like an interfeed roller, or I'd want somebody spraying and somebody back rolling versus the jet spray. But a lot of guys do like them. I just wasn't. I've tested them, messed around with them, and I was just never a big fan of them.
So last
Graco
question.
makes one that's 18 inches. Titan makes one that's 9 inches. So
So 18. The white one's probably a lot heavier.
The Graco one, just really it doesn't matter as much that it's 18 because it's all just you're not dipping and rolling. I mean, you're just spraying, so there's not that much of an advantage having an 18 versus a 9. An 18 versus a 9 if you're dipping in a bucket, you're dipping half as much.
Yeah.
But here you're just squeezing a trigger, so. But it does, and you're using like with the Graco 18, you're using a big, like a 1221 tip on there, and
You're putting the paint on.
you're putting a ton of paint on, but then you're putting a ton of paint over spray that's kicking off the wall and stuff like that too, and so.
So the last, well, I'll do one more question.
One more.
Okay. I repainted some old oak chairs, primed first with Ben shellac primer, then sprayed 2 coats of Benjamin Moore Advance. With 3 kids, I'm getting lots of chips. Any idea why? Isn't it like 30 days to cure?
Yeah, so Ben Advance takes 30 days to cure, and it chips, nicks, and dings really easy within that 30 days, and so there is a long cure time. After that cure time, it's durable than most over-the-counter products, and what you say was on? It was a stool or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean that's like a really high traffic piece. Chairs. When it comes to chairs, that's probably the highest traffic you can get, even more so than cabinets. People's feet on it, things in your pockets that are gonna nick and ding it, people dropping stuff. That's where it really gets critical to jump into products like Centurion Coatings, 2K poly.
Because those are for the factories.
They were products designed OEM coatings that were put on furniture and wood finishes in factories that are going on these products that are sold, furniture and stuff like that and cabinets. And when you start adding a hardener to a poly, it's just indestructible. Just about that's the most nick resistant, ding resistant, chemical resistant, scratch resistant, disgust resistant coating you can get now. And that's and they're really not. I mean, if you're using Advance, using a 2K poly is not any harder than Advance, and you can brush and roll a 2K poly. So you can brush and roll it with a lot of success, and you can add a catalyst to it and brush and roll it.
So, Josh Hagan said shellac is known to be chippy. So
yeah, shellac is that's the primer, the undercoat, which is part of having. I mean, you got to start with a good base. So first off, you have to sand. You have to sand and get a good profile, so your primer gets a good bite to that. And shellac is a good. Ben shellac is a good primer undercoat that helps resolve contaminants and stuff like that, eliminating fisheye and stuff like that, but it's not the most durable when it comes to
like a chair.
To a chair, and it's not going to give you as much bite. Is like if you primed it with 1107, which is a 2K primer, that's going to give you better bite than anything you can use anywhere, and then put a 2K poly over the top of that, the 2800 series. But I would be comfortable if you didn't have to do any grain filling or anything like that, that the 2800 series 2K catalyzed is going to stick, and it's going to give you like a bulletproof finish that you can brush and roll or spray. Spraying is going to give you an amazing finish, but brushing and rolling, the advanced brushing and roll is amazing. It's I've tested it, messed with it. It's the best brush and roll without any additives of any coating I've ever used. And I've been messing around the last couple days with, and I'm going to do a review on Sherwin-Williams Emerald Urethane, which that stuff sprays amazing, and I absolutely love it, and it sticks like crazy. It doesn't brush and roll as well as Advance. So
have you tried using like Floetrol or something like that?
Or
you're just testing.
You can use latex extenders. I mean, I always test products first by themselves and stuff, because I mean, they should design it so you don't have to add additives to it. If you have to add additives to it, then well, that's kind of a bummer, because now you're just spending more money.
But I guess if it's made to spray.
Advance was made to brush and roll. The
Oh.
one thing I noticed with Emerald is when you spray it, it has a nice buttery finish, but when you feel to it, when you brush it, it doesn't have that buttery smooth
So it's
finish
meant to
to
spray.
it. So I'm not sure if it was meant to spray. It doesn't brush and roll as well. And the Emerald urethane, it's a semi-gloss finish, and the sheen is to me a little bit more of a satin than a semi-gloss. I wish I had a little bit more sheen to it, but all in all, I absolutely love Emerald urethane. It's a great product.
So,
So,
the last question.
oh,
Drum roll. How tall are you?
how? That's actually a good question. We should probably go measure myself, and
I would say 5'5".
because
Shrunk.
I've shrunken. So this is a little trivia. I've had 3 back surgeries, and I've had 2 spinal fusions, and so I've lost some disc height. And so this is true. When you lose those discs, you shrink. So I used to call myself 5'6",
Yeah.
but I think I'm 5'5" now.
Yeah.
I think I'm truly 5'5". I'm kind of sad to admit.
No,
I'm like-
you did it to yourself, lifting like thousands of pounds and stuff.
I've squatted 720 before.
Yes, that's why he had
um,
back surgeries. Just
but-
saying.
But that is kind of funny because what's really weird is I really don't think I'm short.
Until people tell you.
Not even when they tell me, I don't believe it. I'm like, dude, I'm just as tall as you.
Yeah.
But when I take
Every once in a while.
every single person I take a picture next to, they're like a foot taller than me. And I'm like, that's crazy because I'm looking at them eye to eye when I'm talking to them. And then I look at their pictures, I'm like, what the heck is like, this dude is like
That's
towering.
okay.
So
You're perfect.
one of the people that really put my height in perspective, and we know Josh Allen, and and so I was talking to Josh and got a picture with him, and that was kind of funny looking.
He's our kid's
I look
age.
like a little stuffed animal next to him. It's like,
It's okay.
yeah,
It's all
that
right.
was.
You just gotta, God made us all different, so.
That's one thing. You know what? God made me like the height I am, and I used to always think it was actually really cool and an
Yeah.
advantage to be short.
Yeah.
But I could never get the girls being short.
32 years.
They always. This was the stupidest thing. 'Cause
Okay.
They always thought I was their little brother.
But I
It's
didn't.
like, that's the one girl that absolutely mattered. Has been here
Yes.
for 32 years.
Yep. Still
Yeah.
say I do.
And she has no problem with my height.
No.
So I just don't
So-
let her wear heels. I used to not care.
Yeah.
Now I don't care. She does now.
Once in a while. I never used to.
Are you going to give away another brush? Or
One
we're done?
more
One more
brush.
brush.
Let's
Last
do
brush.
one more brush.
Go check out our store, paintlifesupply.com. If you won one of the brushes, you got to go down in the chat icon, hit the chat icon, and say that you're one of the winners. And you'll get to select a 2-inch, 2.5-inch, or 3-inch of the Brooke brush. Happy birthday, Brooke. Your birthday's almost over. We love you and are so thankful for you.
So Josh Hagan, he's been to our academy. He's been with us all throughout our
Josh?
journey. So we're gonna send you,
Josh, you're gonna get yourself one of the Brooke brushes. So
But
congratulations.
because we're old, you got to remind us. And so how do people get it? They have to go to our store. What's the store?
We are old school. We're OG.
No, we learned a word. We drop something.
Yeah,
We don't release
we
it.
don't release it. We drop it.
Oh my goodness.
So, anyways, thank you for being with us.
Thank you.
Wasting your evening with us instead of watching Monday Night Football. So
Yeah, Josh, I have an old address, but you need to make sure and go to our store, paintlifesupply.com, and go in the chat button and just let me know what your mailing address is so I can make sure and get that to you.
Yeah, and we gotta say goodnight to you guys, and you guys, everybody on the show, say goodnight to
Thank you for being with
Grandma
us.
Lisa. Ow.